Alright, good morning everyone. Hello, hello. And welcome to the stream. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the PreStream podcast for Saturday the 26th of March 2022. I'm Darkside Phil. Welcome to another full day of streaming fun. And today we're switching back the way that we're doing things now because we have variety on the streams again after a month of non-stop coverage of basically only 2 games. Yeah, I know. We're going back to a rotation of having alternating new releases, okay? So, today, we swing back to the other side of things with more Elden Ring and my weekly throwback session of late night Street Fighter fun, usually called Friday Night Fights, but this week it's Saturday Night Smackdown because it's Saturday, not Friday, okay? Just to forewarn everyone, number one, yes, my allergies are bothering me. They kind of kicked in over the last couple of days. Spring has sprung here in Washington State. The temperatures outside are getting much warmer. And because of that, everything outside's blooming. I was sitting here the other day. My face is itching in every possible place. My mustache, my beard, my ears, my head, my forehead, my eyes is burning. I'm like, ah! Because allergies are kicking in. And that means annoying postnasal drip is even worse. And there's not much I can do about it. If it gets too bad, I can take allergy medication, but I purposely don't do that unless I absolutely have to. So that way, if I'm in a really bad way, it kicks in and it actually is super powerful. Because if you take a lot of medication, over-the-counter medication all the time, sadly, it loses its effectiveness. And that's the last thing I want to happen. I want it to be actually useful when I need it bad. So I'm not going to take anything until I absolutely need it, all right? So, that being said, that's right. D-Man Game says I look tired and puffy. Oh, I'm definitely puffy. It's my allergies for sure. Like, my face is all whoop today. I woke up, I'm like, bleh, I feel it. Yuck. What are you going to do? So, welcome to the stream, everyone. The other thing is, today is going to be a sunny day, which means that there will be beating sun on the front of my office here, and whenever that happens, it means that the office significantly warms up. Like outside, it's probably about 55, maybe 60 degrees in the sun. In this house, no exaggeration, in this office, it'll be like 80 in this office. And all I could do is I have the window all the way open, but the blinds down to stop the sun from coming in and causing more heat. But I have my fan on maximum blast oscillate. Soon, I know this sounds really stupid because it's still March, but soon, I'm probably going to have to put my air conditioner in the window. Once it starts becoming, pretty regularly warm for the spring, if I don't do that, it just becomes unbearable in here. So, it is what it is. Soon enough, likely within the next few weeks, I would think, I'm probably going to have to install the air conditioner, and you guys are going to start hearing it every day, which means you're going to hear ambient noise in the background of my streams and videos, and there's nothing you can do about it. It happens every year, and it's all through the spring, through the summer, until basically early fall when I get to turn it off again. In reality, I don't like having it on. I prefer fresh air. I like having this air blowing through the window. It's good, but when the allergies kick in and the heat goes up outside, it's like, bleh, what am I going to do? Where I just gotta bear with it and do the best I can to make do. So, that is correct. Bull Jeff says the Platinum Vest eligibility on the chopping block. Right, if it's a day that's hot, and this office is very warm because of the sun, there is no way that I can have the heaviest vests eligible for being worn. And Platinum, in particular, is the heaviest of all the vests. It's very warm when I wear it. I sweat. Now, imagine me sweating inside of a room that's 80-plus degrees while trying to play Elden Ring. Not a very good formula for success, you know what I'm saying? So, and some people are, you don't have central air? No, they don't have central air in Washington. Doesn't exist unless you go crazy and pay extra money. When I moved in here, the air system was so poor, I actually had a professional come in and look at the house. And he looked at the air ducts and he looked at everything downstairs and he's like, so basically when they built your house, they never thought it would be hot in Washington State. And to be honest, the house was built in the 1990s, alright, so you're talking 30 years ago. 30 years ago, it wasn't hot in Washington State. But because of global warming, yes, every year it's getting hotter and hotter here, and we're having hotter and hotter summers, but these houses were not designed for that. In fact, it's the polar opposite. These houses were built to retain heat during the winter, as opposed to cool off during the summer. So, the entire duct system in the house is designed incorrectly for air distribution, and he even said, yeah, if you were going to get central air, It's like, even if you were just to buy a giant air conditioner right now and plug it into your air system, your entire top floor wouldn't get it. It's like, your air is so poorly designed in your house, you would have to redo your ducts to make it so that there's maximum airflow to the upstairs, because what's the point of buying, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars of air conditioning equipment if it's still not going to be cold on your top floor? So he's like, yeah, not only would you have to buy the air conditioner, but redo all of the ductwork in your house, you're talking a $15,000 project. Like, oh, is that all? Thanks for the good news. So that being said, no, we don't have central air. There's like, in this entire community that I live in, which are all incredibly similar condos, 2 people have central air. 2 people paid for it over the years, and everyone else just makes do in the summer. Everyone usually has these indoor air conditioners, like I have in this office. I have an indoor air conditioner, freestanding, and you just blast it and you make do with it. So it is what it is. And yeah, I do what I can. This year, we're hoping it's not as hot as last year. Last year we had record high temperatures here in Washington State. It was 111 degrees Fahrenheit, the hottest it's ever been recorded here in the state, and no one could deal with it. It was like insane. People were going crazy, overheating. It was very, very bad. Let's put it that way. Okay. So anyway, excuse me. Felt that one coming. I'm drinking seltzer water this morning. I felt the carbonation coming back up. Sorry about that. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about today. All right. Today, we're returning to Elden Ring. Elden Ring has been a non-stop playthrough for a month. We took a break from it yesterday to play the new release Ghostwire Tokyo. Today, we're coming back to Elden Ring. And where are we? Well, we're in the... Isn't it called, like, the Dark Root something? The Dark Root Depths or something like that? It reminds me of the Deep Root Basin, but it's a little different. It's very, very dark. Dark is correct. Like, there's almost no lighting in this place. And you're in the middle of a bunch of tree roots, plus a bunch of, like destroyed buildings. I think they're called the Forgotten City or something like that. Like, people forgot it was even down here. Some pretty challenging stuff. First, an insane amount of killer ants. And now, I just fought an optional Crucible Knight boss. That's not the standard Crucible Knight with the sword, but the one that has the crazy twisted spear. And I beat him. And when I beat him, I got his spear as well as a full armor set of the Crucible Knight, which is really sweet. I put it on as much as I could. You know, I have the weight limitations. But, it was pretty fun. I like the area. It's challenging, but the exploration has been fun so far, and we still got a lot more exploration in the area to do. Excuse me. And then we're going to see, apparently this ties into one of the side quest lines that I had done. So there's going to be some more challenging stuff coming up. And then I guess once I beat this, I've pretty much done all the major available side content in the game up to this point. Like, if you remember, the last week was all side content. I beat Radon. That unlocked an underground dungeon. While I was doing that dungeon, it unlocked another quest line to do another underground dungeon. So I did 2 underground lost cities. Then I went to a lake of rot. Then I ended up in like an alien cave, right? It just kept going. Then I ended up in a plateau in Liurnia that previously I wanted to reach and couldn't, and now I could. So I did all of that. Then I went back to the aqueduct, and now I ended up in this dark root, deep root dungeon, whatever the hell it is. So a lot of optional stuff. Oh, by the way, I also did the inverted study hall tower, right? So a lot of stuff. All right. So anyway, we'll see how it goes today. I don't know how much is left in this side content area that I'm in. It could take the whole stream. It could be an hour, and then we switch over and we actually do some story progression today. I don't know. But it should be fun. Yesterday, as I was playing Ghostwire, everyone yelling at me, where's Elden Ring? But it's going to be alternated now. Basically, you're going to see Ghostwire and Elden Ring going back and forth for the foreseeable future. Please understand, no, I'm not playing Elden Ring every single day. If even this means I need to play it for a whole other month to beat it, then so be it. Okay? Later tonight, as I said, it's going to be Street Fighter. Now, last week, I played Street Fighter on Xbox, This week, I think we'll swing back to PlayStation, and we'll see how it goes, see if we can get enough competition. I do like the ability that if I can't find comp on one console, I can switch to the other. It's obviously an asset rather than a detriment. But it should be fun tonight, I hope. Usually it's a good time when I play old school Street Fighter, and I hope you'll join me for that on the late stream. Okay, 6:45 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Okay, then tomorrow, back to Ghostwire Tokyo, and back to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Let's talk a little bit about each of these new release games so you guys can get an idea of what I think about them after their initial streams, okay? So Ghostwire, it's weird. It's like the best way I can describe Ghostwire is that it's not like anything I've played before. Seriously. People are trying to draw parallels. Oh, it's open world exploration in the first person, so it's like Far Cry. Or, oh, it's got supernatural elements and you have superpowers, so it's like BioShock. And I'm looking at all these things, I'm like, it's not like any of those, actually. Like, it really does feel kind of like its own entity. And after the first 3 hours, even though the game was confusing with, like, what should I be doing, what's meaningful, their game is total open world exploration. From the get-go, you can climb these giant buildings, these you know, tall buildings in Tokyo. And you could start doing platforming across them. You know, you're exorcising the souls of the people that apparently were raptured away out of the city. You're fighting ghosts and demons. You're looking for collectible items. You're talking to yokai spirit animals. You're talking to real-life animals like cats and dogs that were left behind after the people were raptured out of Shibuya. And then you're doing side content. I found 2 side missions. One was about, I guess, the water had been corrupted. I have no idea how that works. And you had to fight a bunch of ghosts in a bunch of standing water at a bathhouse. And then the other one was there was a good luck spirit that had been kidnapped. It originally had been taken care of by a grandmother, but then a landlord kidnapped the spirit from the grandmother in order to try to get good luck, but that doesn't work. It turns the spirit against you, and the landlord died. So you basically had to exorcise the landlord to free the spirit. Yeah, you see what my point is? It's not like anything I've played before. Seriously, it doesn't feel like any game that I've really experienced. The combat is different than other games. The plot is definitely different. The graphical design, everything is like, it's unique. And you know, when you play something unique, all right, it could go one of 2 ways. Either it could be like, wow, this feels refreshing and innovative, or it could be, wow, this really doesn't translate to something fun. So far, I don't want to put my finger on it and be like, I absolutely know it will be this. But so far, after the 3 hours, I was more intrigued by the game than not. And I was like, man, I actually want to play more. I want to see what new abilities and things I'm going to unlock the further that I play in. And I'm actually curious what else, you know, visually, the game is stunning, right? So maybe there'll be some really awesome combat abilities later that'll be even more interesting. Maybe the side stories will be just as interesting as the first 2 and pick up. And the main plot, I don't have a damn clue what's going on. I've been playing for 3 hours. I don't know what the hell's happening in this game. I'm lost, but at the same time, that's kind of cool because it's kind of like this air of intrigue and mystery. Like, what is going on in this game? I don't know, but hopefully we'll find out, right? So here's the thing. Here's the reaction that Ghostwire got. At first, everyone on the stream was like, what is this? And then after about an hour of playing, it was about an hour and a half actually, I went on a break. About a third of the people left and never came back. You know, we started off with around 400 viewers, and by the time I came back from break, we barely reached 300 again. I don't know why. I think people are just impatient. If you want to know the truth, take a look at a playthrough like Elden Ring. I'm playing Elden Ring. We get the little intro segment. I die. Everyone dies in the intro. You go to the open world. Within the first 5 minutes of Elden Ring, I'm fighting a big boss in the Tree Sentinel. It's kicking my ass, and for the first hour, here I am against insurmountable odds, fighting this thing, trying to win. Finally, I do, and then we check out this open world. We start going to optional dungeons and the like. You see, in this game, it's kind of like, okay, what is it? Well, there's some plot exposition. There's some intro gaming mechanics. You're exploring for the first time in the game, trying to figure it out. There's a slow build. People don't like slow builds anymore. I mean it. Like, in every game that has a slow build that I play, my viewing audience gets turned off. No one has patience. Everyone wants instant gratification. You start playing a game, give me the essence of what your game is going to be within the first hour, and if you don't, you might as well just fucking not make a game. It certainly seems like that in this day and age, right? Like, take a look at Dying Light 2, where the game has an intro segment, a little bit of gameplay, then another intro segment, then on the rails intro segment, you don't even play the main game for like 3-4 hours. And then you don't actually unlock the truth of what the game is until 15 hours in. Then you get to the city and you get to see the main gameplay elements. It's like, no. The common person doesn't have 15 hours to waste for you to get on with it and get to the meat of your game, you see? So, what I would hope, okay, what I would hope will happen is that with this game, it'll catch on. I personally was intrigued after the first 3 hours, and I can't wait for more tomorrow to see where the game goes. Now, admittedly, the game might get boring. It could. It has potential that maybe it'll just be the same thing over and over. It'll be boring. Or it could get better. If there's new abilities, new monsters to fight, interesting plot, right? Then it could be good. But I don't know what's going to happen. It seems like its own entity. It's totally original and different, right? So, let's see what happens tomorrow. And maybe make a better judgment then. For the initial stream, I was definitely intrigued. I think that's the best way to say it. Did I love it? No. Did I hate it? No. I'm intrigued. I want to see more. I want to see what this game is going to be in the long term. You can't tell from that first 3-hour session. Okay? Okay. Then on the late stream yesterday, we played Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Wow. Wow in a very pleasant way. Like, that's the best way to describe my experience with Kirby. This is the best Kirby game I think I've ever played. Graphically, it leaves something to be desired because, yes, the frame rate dips on the Switch. But outside of that, it's like a combination of classic Kirby gameplay, but in a semi-3D plane. The reason I say that is because it's not always full 3D. It's kind of like a hybrid 2D, 3D deal. I guess the best way to describe it would be like Super Mario 3D World, where there's a lot of stages that have 3D elements, but in general, you're platforming to beat it. The combat is interesting. There's all these abilities. You know, obviously with Kirby, whenever he absorbs a new ability, he completely changes the combat style, whether you're throwing projectiles, you're fighting things with a melee weapon, or a hybrid. But also in this game, you can absorb other things. Like, you can become a staircase. You can become a car. You can become these giant objects that then change the gameplay elements, both for platforming and combat, but also puzzles. And this was actually one of the better things about the game, is that the puzzles are actually well thought out and interesting, which is surprising that within the first 2 hours of a game that most people would categorize as a kid's game, there's actually interesting puzzles. Like, for example, there's a fuse going to a cannon, okay? The goal is for you to light the fuse, jump in the cannon, and have it launch you to a secret area. But the fuse goes under an area where you need to put stairs and climb up the stairs to get to the cannon. But if you put the stairs there early, the fuse goes under their stairs and puts out the fire. So you need to light the fuse, become the stairs, move the stairs out of the way, wait for the fuse to go and light under where the stairs need to go, then quickly become the stairs and push them to there, spit out the stairs, platform up the stairs to get to the cannon just as the fuse is hitting it, and boom, you get to the secret area. It's actually challenging, but fun, and not, like, the combat itself is not that challenging, but the puzzles make it interesting. And there's actually these speedrun challenges as well. Think like in Super Mario 3D World, you had the optional stages where you had to collect a certain amount of coins in a certain amount of time and stuff like that. It's kind of similar. Do this certain amount of things using a certain ability within a certain amount of time and get a reward for it. It's pretty good. And then on top of all of that, the game has RPG elements, which I never expected. It's an action platformer that actually has a hub town that you go to level up your abilities based on the amount of hidden items and things you collected while you were playing the main stages. I was like, wow, this is a cool idea. They really did a great job of implementing all these great gameplay elements from different genres into this game. I'm like, dude, this is a Kirby game? I played it for 2 hours. I was like, this is probably the best style of action-adventure platformer that I've played in 5 years. Like, no exaggeration. I've played a bunch. You know, I played Crash Bandicoot. Hell, I played the classic Spyros. I just played Ratchet and Clank last year. You want to know what this is better than? Ratchet and Clank. The first 2 hours of Kirby and the Forgotten Land is better than all of Ratchet and Clank from last year. I'm not even kidding. The only thing it doesn't have is good graphics. That's the one thing that's a shortcoming because it's on the Switch. Everything else about the game design is better than Ratchet and Clank. in 2 hours. That's pretty bad. But, you know, these guys are innovative. Though I always said this. I said, you know what? As much as I can rag on Nintendo for their bad choices and the things they do that make absolutely no sense at all, right? For the consumers in particular. When they put out first-party titles, they fucking kick ass, right? Think of the first-party titles for the Switch. Super Mario Odyssey, right? Wow. That game blew me away. It's so good. Metroid Dread we just played. Holy shit. You want to talk about a classic Metroid with a modern feel, everything done right. This game is outstanding so far, and I've only played 2 hours. And the cool thing is it overly complicatedly challenging? No. It's perfect for a late-night chill stream, because it's just enough amount of challenge to think, how do I solve this puzzle without having to worry about, oh god, the combat is gripplingly difficult and I'm dying a million times. It's more like you can enjoy yourself and sit back and relax. I can interact with the audience while we enjoy the environments and the puzzles and everything. It was seriously perfect. Okay? So I love it. I actually, after yesterday, both games are interesting to me. If you were to ask me which game did I like better, definitely Kirby, because I was blown away at how good the game design is. Ghostwire is more of I'm intrigued at the future, what else is coming. Is it going to get better? Is there going to be more ghosts? Is the visuals going to stay at the same level they're at or get even better? Will the abilities be more interesting? Or there is potential it could be grindy and boring in the long term. I don't know. So far, the first 3 hours are intriguing. But with Kirby, the first 2 hours, like, wow, this was so much fun. I just can't wait to play it again. Pretty awesome, right? So, that's in regards to the games themselves. Now let's talk about how did the day go overall here on DSPGaming. Okay. Stream-wise, the streams did pretty good. Like I said, Ghostwire, we started off with over 400 viewers. It dipped down to around 300 by the end of the stream. Likes were great. We hit our 100, exceeded our 100 likes goal, so the engagement was good on the stream. Support was pretty good. We didn't hit the full tips goal, but I think we did like 100, something like that, which is good, obviously, for any stream. And I think there was other support as well with memberships and super chats, so not going to complain. I mean, it was a big premiere, but was it like a AAA ginormous, oh my god, Elden Ring level premiere? Hell no, it wasn't. And I wasn't expecting that either, okay? Kirby did pretty good for a night stream, and that's what I want to emphasize here. I wasn't expecting blockbuster numbers for Kirby at all. I thought maybe I'd get between 200, 300 viewers. That's exactly what I did. Support was pretty good. I think it was like maybe, you know, 60, 70 bucks in tips, which is good for a night stream. And engagement was absolutely great. No, I mean it, like engagement. People loved the game who were here to watch. They liked the hell out of the stream. There was tons of conversation and interaction between me and the audience yesterday. All right. So, yesterday I would argue was a big success. It was a great day, a double new release day. What I'm hoping is that we can retain that level. You know what I mean? Like, great, it was premiere day and people were excited. Can we keep that going? It would be great if we could. Obviously, what I don't want to happen is that we get disengagement from one particular game, and now it's like pulling teeth trying to get people interested in it. I'll be honest, that's what happened with Horizon Forbidden West. Like, I liked it, but as soon as Elden Ring came out, it was like, all right, there's one game filling your rotation no one cares about, Horizon. And I was like, that's unfortunate, because I thought it was a pretty good game, but it really was very tough getting people to care about the game and show up and interact and engage in that content, because people were basically telling me they thought that Horizon was kind of disappointing. So, hopefully, these playthroughs will continue to do well. Tomorrow we're doing a whole other day of Ghostwire and Kirby, and I hope that you guys will come and chill and check it out, even if you didn't yesterday. Keep in mind, all those videos are on demand right now on DSPGaming. You can watch them on demand whenever you want, get caught up. If you do watch them, please give them likes if you're enjoying them, and please leave comments. That's key to new playthroughs here on YouTube. That if you do that, we'll get engagement on this channel. We'll get more people subscribing to the channel and engaging in the content, and that's a good thing. Now, you might say, so with the big new release day yesterday, did you get a big increase? And the answer is, from what I can see, no. I'm just going to be honest. You know, I look at everything. I look at performance day after day, and it kind of just looked like a normal day. It doesn't look like the two new releases really did much for new engagement. Did I get some new subscribers? Yes. Was it a spike? Actually, no. It was on par with what I usually get in a normal day. Viewership, same thing. You know, like I said, the views weren't out of control. The engagement wasn't overly great. I think what it is now you guys have bought in to that mentality that if you're going to be here and you're going to enjoy my stuff, you're going to already engage in the content. You're going to give it likes. You're going to leave comments. You know, people are going to subscribe if they want to talk in the stream chat, etc. So people are already in on that. You know what I'm saying? You guys have been doing this since January. And I'm very appreciative of that because this is key to having my channel have consistent growth. It really is. To build this channel up, I need to have that. It's like kind of just a given. Oh, I'm going to watch Phil's stuff. Oh, it's good today. I'll give it a like. You see? That is just a natural thing. Natural occurrence that's going to happen when previously that never did. And it's my fault because I never asked for it. I was the YouTuber that ignored all the shit to be successful on YouTube. And I was like, I'll just put out content and if people like it, they like it or whatever. I didn't really care about that shit. But that was a long time ago and that was pretty stupid. You know, all the years of only caring about streaming and not caring about the YouTube side of things. You know what I mean? It was almost 5 years where that was my mentality. So I think what's happened is people are just naturally doing it. So yesterday, like I said, both of the new streams had good engagement. But so do my regular streams, right? When I play Elden Ring, we get great engagement. Hell, when I play Street Fighter, there's great... You know what I mean? Like, whenever I'm playing now, you guys are already giving that content great engagement. So I didn't necessarily see a spike because it's already there. You might argue, well, if you're playing new games, wouldn't you expect a spike? Wouldn't you expect more people? I don't know. I didn't get that. I certainly didn't get that. There was not an increase in viewership yesterday because it was a double new release day. And to some extent, yeah, when I'm dropping a lot of money for 2 new games, which I did in one day, I spent like 120. Actually, it was way more than that. Because now I'm thinking about it. They were both $60. Yes, Kirby is a $60 game. Plus tax. So I probably ended up spending about $150 yesterday. Just on the 2 games. After tax and everything, you know. And you would hope that that would translate into an increase. And there was no increase. But at this point, being that things are going good already, like I'm not complaining. You see what I'm saying? It would be one thing if things were slow and we saw no increase. Things are not slow. Things are good. You know, everything on this channel is good. The engagement is good. The support is good. So for me, I see it more as like, let's maintain what we have that's going good rather than worry so much about, oh, why didn't I see a spike in performance, right? I'm not gonna dwell on negative stuff. I'm gonna focus on the positive. All right. So as long as I can keep stuff going for the next month, for example, Elden Ring's going to be continuing, and as long as people will keep tuning in and supporting, I got new playthroughs now in the loop. We're going to keep on with Street Fighter, Skyrim will be put in there when I get a chance. You see, as long as all this works out, and stays at the level it is, then I think we're good. And yes, there is slow growth. It's slow. It's slow growth. It's not incremental giant growth. Yesterday, no, DSPGaming did not hit the algorithm. It didn't. You know, we didn't see a spike. We didn't see a lot of people coming to check out the new releases yesterday. What are you going to do? We tried. There was engagement. And probably what it was is there was just so many people playing the new games. And it wasn't necessarily... No one was necessarily saying, wow, I just can't wait to see Phil play Ghostwire. Or, man, I've been waiting all year for Phil to play Kirby. You know what I'm saying? These are like, oh, it's nice Phil's playing those games. But what was the game that really brings stuff to the table? When Phil plays Elden Ring, that's when it's bringing something, you know, desirable and unique to the table. You see? That's kind of what I'm thinking anyway. So. Snake Guy says, if I won the lottery for $1 million, would I work? Yes. First of all, $1 million is not even enough to pay for the rest of my life. That's crazy. Like, it's just not, you know? $1 million is not a lot of money in the scheme of things, especially when you realize how much taxes you have to pay on shit that you earn. I've already said this before. If I were to ever come into money for some reason and I didn't have to work, I still would because I love my job. Would I stream as much as I do right now? Hell no. 6 days a week, full-time streaming, only having 1 day to spend with my family is not enough. And I wish that I had way more. Like, at the very least, I want, like, 2 days a week to spend with my family. One that we could do errands and appointments and the like. And the other where I could just spend time with Kat and do stuff maybe around the house or go on a day trip or something. And I don't have opportunity to do that right now with the life, how it's going. Long-term goals, right? But if I were to make it so that this were not something I had to do 6 days a week full time, I would still do it. I would just play less games. I would pick and choose the games absolutely that I want to play more. Like, I'll give you an example. I would definitely be playing Elden Ring. And I probably, of all games, I'd probably be playing Kirby right now. Seriously. I'd probably be playing Elden Ring, Kirby, and Skyrim. That's probably what I would be playing. I would not, Ghostwire was a gamble. We didn't even know if it was going to be any good. That one I probably wouldn't even be playing at all. Because I'm not going to put a game into the rotation that's a gamble, it's not a surefire thing when I'm only streaming limited time. You see what I'm saying? Jeremiah, no, I have no plans on playing a new Chrono Cross game next month. It's not even new, right? It's just a remake? No. Okay, so, now that the new games are in the rotation, here's the deal, okay? Today, it's Elden Ring and Street Fighter. Should be a fun time. Tomorrow, it's Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby, okay? Monday is up in the air, but here's what I'm leaning towards. Elden Ring on the first stream, and then leaving the late stream completely open. It could be Ghostwire, it could be Kirby, or it could be Skyrim, right? What I'm thinking I might do is I might run a poll to see what you guys want to see on the late stream on Monday night, and let that determine what the game will be. Or maybe just take your opinions on the stream, but I might run a poll like on my community page on DSPGaming here that you guys can vote on for like 24 hours and see what game you want to see on the late stream on Monday, okay? I'm off from streaming on Tuesday. That's my day off for the week. When I return on Wednesday, it'll be alternation again between Elden Ring and Ghostwire on the main streams, and the late streams will be Kirby. Now, this coming week, there's two important things that are happening. The first is that I have to work on my taxes, my federal taxes. I have to work on getting the data together to give to my tax guy so I can file. That means taking time away from streaming. I have not had a single opportunity to work on it in the last couple of months like I usually would have, because unlike usually when now this time of year is dead for gaming, it was the complete opposite for the last 2 months. It was insane overdrive for gaming, right? So, because of that, there will not be consistent night streams next week. Likely there'll be at least 2 nights where I'm not going to be streaming. I will be streaming Kirby in between those nights. So it'll be Kirby, no stream, something like that. Okay? Also, April 6th is my birthday. Okay? Now, I was looking at the schedule about, timing of that. And from what I can see, that means it's a Wednesday. Now, typically, my day off is a Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure what it's going to be that week. I don't know if it'll be like Monday or Tuesday, the 4th or the 5th. That will be my day off. Okay? But here's what I'm thinking. That week beforehand, all right, I'm going to be doing special festivities on the stream. I'm going to decorate behind me. We're going to have some party balloons, some streamers, things that are festive for a birthday. And whenever a big contribution comes in, I'll do something silly, like play a party horn or something like that, a noisemaker, to say thanks for the contribution and this ongoing support. All right, then, either exactly on my birthday or right before or right after, depending, I'm going to do a special event. I don't know what the event's going to be yet. Likely, I'm leaning towards a marathon where instead of it being 2 separate streams and me doing 2 set games, it'll be like, okay, let's just play a variety of stuff. Now, what would it be? I don't know. I mean, I'm in the midst of so many freaking playthroughs right now. I could easily just say, okay, we're going to do an hour and a half of Elden Ring, then we're going to swap to Ghostwire, then we're going to swap to Kirby. I could do that. Swap to Skyrim. We just play a little bit of every game that I'm playing currently in the rotation. Or we could do something completely different. We could do like a Game Pass marathon where you guys vote on games that I already have from Microsoft Game Pass, and we pick like 3 or 4 of those to play. I don't know what I want to do. But what I'm thinking is, and I don't know because this isn't set in stone yet, but maybe I could have like a piece of birthday cake at some point during the stream to celebrate my 40th birthday. Maybe we'll do Feasting with the King. We'll actually order a meal and we'll eat live together like I've done several times over the course of the last year. You guys really liked Feasting with the King as a show. Maybe we could do that. Just something special and different. Rather than it just being a regular day of streams, I don't want it to feel like trite and commonplace. I want it to feel like something special is going on. Originally, the idea that I had was this was supposed to be the co-celebration. It was going to be my 40th birthday tied in with hitting 200,000 subs on DSPGaming. We didn't get that much growth. All right? Just being honest. We didn't. We did get good growth. If you take a look at the last few months, subs are way up compared to what I used to get on the channel. But I'm just not at the accelerated rate where I made the 200,000 subs yet. It sucks. What can you do? If anything, we can save it now, maybe later this year when I hit 200,000 subs. If I do. I hope I do. then we can do something special for that. But it is what it is, right? So that's what I'm thinking. It'll be a special event. I don't know. Again, no specifics yet. It's still about 2 weeks away, so we can talk a little bit about it to determine what you guys want. Let's see. Would you prefer something like Game Pass random games, or would you prefer maybe I just play a little bit of every game I'm playing and have advancement in each playthrough? What kind of special stuff would you like during the event? Give me your ideas, right? Your feedback is critical to my content. So let me know what you think. What would you like to see? Let's brainstorm a bit over the next week about what you guys would like to see for the birthday celebration event. Okay? Good. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else in particular going on that I need to address right now. I think everything right now has been pretty good, Thank you guys for not allowing nonsense and derailment on the streams. And I mean that. Like, people have been trying badly the last several days to derail my streams, and we just don't allow it anymore. We put up with that bullshit. People come and ask a dumb question of some drama outside the stream. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, we're not playing your dumb game. Seriously, we're not derailing my stream with your fucking nonsense, your conspiracy theory, not bullshit. I don't know what you're talking about. And people are coming to the stream and saying the dumbest shit. Oh, did you hear this guy says that there's photos of this and that? Fuck off. I don't even care. I don't even want to hear the rest of your statement. What are you talking about? This is a gaming stream. We're here to have fun with games. That's what this is supposed to be. A chill environment, enjoying games, seeing my honest reactions, having some interaction and fun. What the fuck are you talking about? And I don't care. I literally I don't even want to hear it anymore. As soon as I start hearing the nonsense, like, turning it out, goodbye. You keep it up, you're out of here. And thank you for that. Because I'm glad to hear that people are tired of it as much as me. Like, people start hearing the bullshit. They're like, what the fuck? Like, no, shut up. We're here for good times. We're here for fun. We're not here for your bullshit. There's plenty of places all around the internet for bullshit. Go to there. Just to keep it out of my content. This is awesome because I really feel like we've done it. In the last year, we managed to shut off the bullshit. Like, you could just be on my streams and have a good time and enjoy for what's going on in the streams. And there's no more stupid white noise around us bothering us. Does it exist? I'm sure it does, but I'm not even in on it. I'm literally not even in on the shit that these idiots are saying and doing anymore because I don't care. I've completely shut it out, and that's a good thing. It's a very good thing that it doesn't really affect anything around here anymore. Let me tell you, it's actually refreshing. It is annoying when people come in here and they try. Like, last night I'm playing Kirby, and you got people in here trying to argue and derail the stream, and you could tell, oh, I'm playing a new game. All of a sudden, within like 10 minutes, there's 50 new viewers out of nowhere, and they're all names I've never seen before, and just suspectedly, they're all, you know what I said, they're all saying risque shit. They're all trying to push the envelope and say, you know where they came from. You know they came from some fucking restreamer who was like, hey, go on Phil's stream and fuck with them and stuff. Let's get some laughs on our restream. It's like, what? Like, no, it ain't gonna work. I'm playing Kirby, dude. Samus Aaron says, do I have any birthday plans with my family on one of my days off? No. I currently have 0 plans. 0. Yeah. It's been so crazy these last couple of months with the amount that I've had to stream with these new releases. Now I have to rush to basically get my taxes done in the next week and all that. And then all of a sudden my birthday's here. So it's like, not really. If anything, maybe my wife and I will try to plan something around our anniversary, which is also about a week after. Not even. It's like only a few days. Now I'm thinking about it. It's only a few days after my birthday. So maybe we'll try to plan something nice for then. But it's just so crazy. It's been so crazy that don't even have real time for that shit. I don't have time to plan nothing. It's just do it on the fly. When you're busy, when you're 6 days a week full time and I'm backlogged, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm behind on everything that I'm working on. It's like, damn, do I have time to plan anything else? No, not at all. Just go with the flow, just go with the flow. That's kind of my mentality these days. Go with the flow and good things happen and just keep it up and enjoy the positive and, it's not like it used to be back in the day where, oh, it's someone's birthday, it's a big idea, a big celebration, plan a giant party and shit. No. That stuff doesn't happen anymore. If anything, I'll get to spend some time with Kat and maybe she'll make me a nice birthday cake or something. That's my birthday celebration. That's, that's it. I don't ask for nothing, I'm not asking for anything. Okay. So You guys, I got a bunch of ridiculous things being said in the chat. I'm just ignoring it all. Okay. So that's about it. So, normally, the next segment of the show, I would talk about gaming news. But today, there really is no gaming news. I was reading around, and I haven't really seen much of anything in the realm of updates or articles or anything in regards to gaming news at all. It just doesn't seem like it's a very eventful day. So, what I've decided is, instead of doing that, we'll do shout-outs, and then we'll do some Q&A. If we end up ending the pre-stream early, that's fine. But every time that I say that, we end up having tons of Q&A, and then it doesn't end early. Let's do shout-outs, okay? Okay. So we start off with Adam Combo, who became a channel member this morning. Thank you, Adam Combo, for the membership. I appreciate that. And Alex from Phoenix did a super chat saying, can you do a playthrough of Pac-Man? Laughing out loud. Like classic, the original Pac-Man? Holy crap. Man, when was the last time I played the original Pac-Man? Wasn't there at one point, wasn't there a version of Pac-Man on, like, Xbox Live or something, and it was called, like Pac-Man Ultra or Pac-Man Deluxe or something like that? Or was it, like, Pac-Man Tournament Edition or something crazy like that, right? Wasn't it just, like, a series of like, a marathon of playing Pac-Man where you would go from stage to stage? I can't remember what it was. I remember being, like, very visually zany, like a rainbow of colors or something like that. Arguably, that was the last time that I played Pac-Man. I couldn't tell you when, you know, the actual last time I played the original Pac-Man. I owned it. I had it on the Atari, well, I think I had the 2600 version. Although I owned the Atari 7800, I'm pretty sure I owned the Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I had two different versions of Pac-Man. I had one that was a standard Atari 2600 cartridge, but then I had one that was one of the weird, oddly shaped cartridges. It was tall and sharp and weird, and I think what it was a third-party, unlicensed version. I think so. They used to do that all the time back in the day. They had these unlicensed games that were either knockoffs or literal rip-offs, but they would still sell them in stores. It was so odd. Games of the 80s were really weird, how they did shit like that. But I couldn't tell you the last time I played real Pac-Man. You know what I mean? Like, unedited, classic Pac-Man. Holy shit. Wow. Have I played Centipede? Of course I did. I played all the classics back in the day. I either had them on my Atari or I played them in arcades or both. All of those classic games that you can think about. Asteroids, Galaga. Yeah, I played them all. Hell yeah. Alright, there is a tip today. The tip is from Slayer0804. Welcome, Slayer. I don't know if you're still on the stream or not, because this was actually an hour ago when I first turned on the stream that he had tipped. So Slayer, yesterday, was on the Kirby stream, and he had revealed to everyone that he'd been around watching my stuff. He just hadn't been around for the streams. And that he had been watching all my Elden Ring stuff on demand, and he actually was intrigued by the game. He had never played that style of game before. But after watching me play, he was kind of like, oh, this is kind of interesting. He was interested in playing it. So Slayer tipped $1.50, and he says, Phil, I want to let you know, well, he said, I want to say hi and let you know, I did buy Elden Ring yesterday. I chose the Samurai class. Actually, from what I understand, that's one of the best starting classes, because you start with the Katana Blade, and the Katana Blade has bleed damage to start. Most of the other starter weapons are just like basic weapons, but the Katana is quite good for a starter weapon, because after hitting a few hits, and you get that extra bleed bonus damage. Alright, he says, I'm currently stuck trying to beat that Tree Sentinel boss. Initially, I couldn't get used to the laggy roll, but I'm getting used to it now. It's still tough. So, Slayer, I'm sure you'll probably watch back this pre-stream podcast if you're not here still to hear my response. Just so you know, and I'm sure you know if you watch my playthrough, Tree Sentinel is completely optional. It's meant to be a very challenging early game hurdle for basically people like me who've played the previous games in the franchise and want to challenge themselves right up front. Like, for me, beating that Tree Sentinel first thing in the game, the reason that was good to me and meaningful to me is because it threw me right back into that classic formula of what to expect from a From Software game, and it got me back on my toes. You know, I hadn't played a From Software game in years since Sekiro. That was the last one I had played. And to actually now say, okay, here comes Ultra Challenge right away. Let's get used to playing FromSoft again. Laggy roll, check. Very barely responsive controls, check. You know, it was like a way for me to jump back in and get used to that again. And after playing it for like an hour and a half and beating him, it was like, wow, that felt good. Not to say that there was a giant reward. You know, that golden halberd is an insanely good weapon, but it took me how many hours to actually build my stats up to be able to use it and utilize it, right? So what I would say is don't go crazy trying to kill that tree sentinel. If you're having a really tough time, move on. There's plenty of other things you can do in the game right now. There's tons of optional dungeons. My recommendation, as someone who played the game, here's what you should do. Start off right where you start off. There's an optional dungeon you could go to straight ahead and then explore that area. Either go east or south to other Limgrave areas. When you start exploring this area, you're going to find churches that are going to have upgrade items in them that are very important. They're going to make your healing flask way better. You're going to find little optional dungeons to play through and fight and get tons of runes, which you need to level up initially. You're going to find vendors. You're going to find optional boss fights that aren't insanely tough, but they're rewarding. You're going to end up finding a flask. It's called the Flask of Wondrous Physic. It's a key gameplay item. Some people completely miss it and don't get it till later in the game. If you get it earlier in the game, it's going to make your life easier. You're going to be able to use these cool buffing abilities right from the get-go. Take your time to explore Limgrave before you go to Stormvale Castle. A lot of people in this game are making the huge mistake. They're thinking you're supposed to go right to Stormvale Castle. You're not supposed to do that. All right? Take your time, explore Limgrave, get all the fun items, take on the optional bosses. Then you want to go back and take on the Tree Sentinel. You want to go to Stormvale, go for it. But definitely do the exploration first. It's worth it. Quite frankly, I wish I had known that was what you were supposed to do because I didn't know, and I ended up going to Stormvale way earlier than I should have. And if I had had all these other upgrades and things, it probably would have been a lot easier. And then it kind of sucked because what I ended up having to do is I had to go back and do this stuff when I was over-leveled for it. And it's not as nearly as fun to go to these areas that are early game areas when you already are basically high enough level to be playing the second map of the game and having to basically steamroll through all the shit to get critical items you need to do the rest of the game. Okay? So that's my recommendation. I hope you have a good time with it, Slayer. Thanks for the first tip of the day. All right. Martin says, now that you're adopting more of a YouTube side of things and you realize likes and comments help, would you consider simple editing of the streams for YouTube audience? I think it will help. First of all, I don't have editing capabilities. I don't even own a single piece of software to edit. The free software editors suck ass. I've tried them. They're terrible. They take way too long to work. They're garbage. I'd have to go back to making like a subscription-based service to get a video editor again. What would I edit is the question. Right now, the raw stream is not what I upload to YouTube. This raw stream gets set to private as soon as the stream's over. And what it is 3 or more, sometimes 4, separated videos that are already made sense. Like I do editing on the fly. Right now, I'm recording the PreStream podcast. All it is the podcast. It didn't include any of the pre-stream music. It won't include the breaks. It's just one video of the podcast in a chunk. You see? Gameplay-wise, when I start playing Elden Ring, we'll have an hour of gameplay. The break will not be recorded. And then another hour and another hour. 3 videos, an hour chunk each. You see? So what exactly am I editing? Because that's the kind of gameplay creator I am. I am a guy who does ongoing raw playthroughs with live commentary. I'm not a guy who does montages. I'm not a guy who does highlights. I've tried those. They don't work for me. Because why? There's 2 reasons why. Number one, it's time consuming to do it. And when you're already putting out the raw content, people would tend to gravitate towards the raw content that's live right now versus me editing and re-uploading something more concise later. Number 2, there's already people all over the internet who steal my content illegally and do edited content. And I know you may not even realize that, but it's been a running thing with me over the years that people illegally rebroadcast my content, illegally download it without permission, and do their own highlights and edits. So I tried doing edits in 2016 for like 6 to 8 months. I was doing edits on all my playthroughs and content, and my videos would get, I'm not exaggerating here, maybe 1,000 views, maybe 2,000 views, no big deal on my video. The people who were stealing my shit would get like 10, 20,000 views. They're basically stealing my viewership on a montage style content because that's not the kind of content creator I am. So people don't come to me for that. They go to these assholes for it, you see? And there's nothing I can do about that. I can't change that. The YouTube algorithm has pushed that kind of viewer elsewhere. Even if I were to keep doing it consistently for my own content, I would never get back that viewer base. You see what I'm saying? So for me to do edited style content, you're asking me to invest in an editing program. That's money. You're telling me to edit the content. That's time. All right. So that's two right there. Two things I don't have, time and money. And then I've already tried it and it didn't work because other people were already stealing and doing it before me. So it's like the triple whammy of wasted time. It really is. They're making that edited style content is not going to make any traction here on DSPGaming at all. That's not what this channel is known for. It's not what this channel has ever been. And when I tried it, it didn't work. Okay? Martin says, I mean stuff like the daily rap, short and sweet, it gets a point across. I feel more videos like that would appeal to people when they see 1 hour long videos, they don't watch it. So what do you mean? Like, for example, at the end of the day, I do the daily rap, but I edit the daily rap to have gameplay in it? Well, right now, the daily rap gets between 500 to 1,000 views a day. Would putting gameplay into the daily rap really make it do that much better? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I like the idea, actually. Like when I'm saying, oh, today we played Ghostwire Tokyo, and here's footage of Ghostwire playing next to me. You see, here we explored it, and we did this and that. I guess that's not a bad idea, actually. But would that increase viewership or engagement on the videos necessarily? I guess, the truth is, there's no way to know unless I tried it, right? There's no way to know unless I actually gave a shot at it. What I would say is right now it's not possible regardless. I don't have time for it. And like I told you guys earlier, I want to upgrade my setup this year. Once things calm down for games, which they're not, it's actually the complete opposite. It's just so crazy busy right now that I'm so backlogged. I literally have 3-4 games people want to see that I haven't played yet, right? When things start to slow down, maybe it's like summertime, right? And there's not as many new releases, I already have people lined up who are interested in helping me upgrade my setup. So if I were to upgrade my setup and get a new setup to, better computer, better capabilities of doing this and that, then maybe that would be the time to say, okay, maybe I could, get a video editor again. And now, because I have a computer that's good, I could start doing that stuff. Maybe, it probably wouldn't take too long to edit it. The problem is that it definitely would take extra time. Like what I have to do is go through my videos for the day and find those moments that I want to highlight in the video. It's okay. Let me put it this way. I'm absolutely not saying no, it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Having a little bit of highlight footage in like a daily rap style video could maybe make it more appealing to the audience. It's something I definitely can't do right now, but it's something to consider. Thank you. That was actually a good idea. I appreciate that kind of suggestion. Right? That's constructive criticism, and that is helpful. I like that. Thank you. Okay. Hello, Guts. How are you today? Good to see you here, Guts. Drew Peacock II says, what about a weekly wrap? It's a longer length edited highlight video of the week's best hits. I did used to do that. Again, many years ago, and it didn't work. People didn't really care. Not saying again, now years later that it wouldn't. But again, it's something that I can't do right now. I don't have editing capability, and again, that would be like me sitting down for a night instead of streaming and just editing, Okay, guys, so here's what we'll do. Oh, wait a minute. I got a super chat. I missed it. Oops. I missed. Shout out to Matrix91 who did a super chat and says the following. I want to write a book. I want you to be the main Kingpin-inspired villain of the book, but I wonder what name would be good. Also, would have an evil-looking cat. So you could call me Phil with the oddly shaped head. That is my criminal name. And yes, you can include Jasper Kitty as the evil cat. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, Matrix, for the super chat. That could be my origin story. Is that my head got stuck in like a vice and it crushed my head and deformed it. And that's why I look the way I do. And that's what made me a villain. Because I was just upset at the world that my head was so hideously deformed when I was younger. That now, you look at me in horror. Well, I look at you in horror. How could you live your trite, meaningless lives the way you do? Sitting in front of your TVs and smartphones, shoving Doritos into your mouths. Right? I must take over this world with my oddly shaped head. All right, I'm just being stupid. Okay. Okay. All right, let's open up the stream to a little bit of Q&A. All right, for the end of the PreStream podcast. In particular, I really don't have much else to talk about. So does anyone have anything they'd like to discuss? Any topics? Anything, you know, to bring up or address before we jump into Elden Ring today? Martin says, the series I miss is The Hateful Truth. Nowadays, you give your thoughts at the end of a stream when you beat the game, and maybe take time to shoot a quick video and upload that as a review. Yeah, the reason that I don't do The Hateful Truth is very simple. The time investment. The truth is, I went over the top with time investment into my reviews in 2016 when I was doing that channel KO Gaming, and it worked. In summary, in 2016, I wanted to diversify my content. I wanted DSPGaming to just be the raw gameplay. I wanted my vlogging channel to be vlog-style videos like this podcast where I talk, and then I wanted a third channel that was edited-style stuff, like highly edited reviews, montages, countdowns, etc. It was called KO Gaming. It took off. It seriously worked. People were coming to the channel to check out the content. One of the videos had over 1 million views. Even the non-video take-off videos, anywhere between like 10,000 to 50,000 views on a lot of them. Sadly, with the YouTube algorithm, the only videos that really took off big time were the negative ones. If I said that a game sucked, it would get good viewership. If I liked a game, it would get bad viewership. Why? Because YouTube is toxic. It sucks that that's the case, but it's just the case. It's toxic. You put a video out there slamming a game, and other people think that's funny. Ha ha ha. Let's wallow in the misery of the game developers who sucked ass making this game, right? As opposed to, oh my god, I played this crazy good game, it blew me away. All the viewership would dwindle and go away, which is ridiculous in my opinion. But basically, I worked my ass off that year. Because what I would do is, I would do a main stream every day. You know, 3-4 hours of gameplay. And then, every other day, I would edit on the late stream. Some nights, I would do a late night stream of gameplay. And some nights, I wouldn't. I would edit. Okay? Now, by the way, I should call this out. This was before the YouTube adpocalypse. This was when it was viable to make a living just putting out videos on YouTube. Even though I was a live streamer, the streaming was supplemental and not a source of income. I wasn't making money on super chats. There was no tips. It was just ad revenue and some subscription-based revenue. That was my source of income at the time, okay? And it worked because the ad revenue was good enough that this KO Gaming channel blew up, and I ended up making thousands of dollars on some of the videos. Now, at that time, I took my review series, The Hateful Truth, and I blew it up and extrapolated upon it. Now, I was on camera the entire time talking in the corner, explaining what was going on in the game. You could see the video footage of the game was main on the screen, and there was effects and everything. There was editing and everything in it. It was really well done compared to the previous crap that I had pumped out that was basically kind of rushed and amateurish. I really put effort into them. It paid off. People were saying, this is the best stuff you've ever put out. You've now shown that if you dedicate yourself to this kind of level of hard work, that your videos can actually look good. And people appreciated that. They actually did. And then what happened? YouTube fucked me. That's really, there's no other explanation. YouTube's algorithmic bullshit essentially made it so that, number one, all the content on KO Gaming was getting demonetized for no reason. The footage there was professional level. It wasn't me just swearing and saying things that would have gotten it demonetized. It was professional level reviews, but the videos were just getting demonetized left and right for no good reason. Okay? And then on top of that, the adpocalypse hit. And when you combine, already it's hard for me to get ads on my videos because their algorithms are shit. Oh, by the way, when you do get ads, they barely make any money because the adpocalypse hit and YouTube lost half of its ad revenue overnight. There was no way to maintain that anymore. Essentially what was happening was, oh, I'm going to do a video, a review. And I would spend 2-3 nights. So you're talking anywhere from 6 to 12 hours of work on one review. Put it out. Review gets 5 to 10,000 views. No ad revenue. It's maybe like $5. Now, I could have been streaming those nights and put out more content that makes more money and keeps the business going. You see? So I tried it. For a year it worked. YouTube destroyed, literally destroyed, any semblance of me being able to make anything positive out of that kind of content, and I gave up. You know, that was when I said, I guess I'm completely changing my style. Instead of being the YouTuber, I'm now going to be the streamer. And my focus became 100% on streaming. Because of that. It sucks. I don't like to admit defeat, because I don't feel like I was defeated. I feel like I was succeeding, and then YouTube changed the game. They fucked up everything. They demonetized everything on the site, and then they lost their advertisers. It's like, well, how am I supposed to make ends meet and make a living when I put all this effort into a video that can't make money because YouTube fucked up? And you know what I mean? Like, it really sucked because I did good. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I tried and I failed, or I tried and I just did okay. I did well being that kind of content creator. I showed that I could do it. And then it still didn't work out, and it had nothing to do with anything I could control. It was very disheartening. Let's put it that way. That's why I kind of said, I'm going to redirect my effort in another direction as a streamer. And as I said many times, by the way, I don't regret it. I love being a streamer. I love having this interaction with you guys. Literally what we're doing right now, I would not be doing if I was doing that kind of content. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be answering questions live on a stream. So I love this. I love the interaction we have, the natural back and forth. I think this is way more entertaining than me just sitting around talking to a camera by myself and editing it and tossing a video out on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So that's the deal with that. Martin. What just happened? Go away, you stupid thing. I'm trying to read. Martin says, how long did it take you to edit a review vid like that? How profitable was it? I understand YouTube is shit. Things change when you have the PC. Why not give it another try? So it was greatly different depending on the video. So I'll give you some examples here. Okay? The one video that I ever did that went crazy, it was basically me saying this was the worst game I'd ever played, and it was Homefront: The Revolution, which when it released was one of the most buggy, unfinished, fucked up messes that I had ever played. This video, when I put it out, was a little bit of history of the previous Homefront game and what it was, and then showing the modern Homefront game and all the shortcomings of the game. People loved this video. It got over 1 million views, okay? How long did it take me to edit the video? Well, I had to play the game, and I only played the game about 2 sessions until I dropped it. So the game is so bad, I'm not playing it anymore. So I don't know, you could argue 6-7 hours of gameplay. And then there was the actual recording, editing of the video. The video was less than an hour. I think the video was like 20-30 minutes, if that. But it took a while. It took several hours. I'd probably say 2-3 nights of editing. So maybe 7 hours of gameplay, and then, I don't know, 7 to 10 hours of editing. So you're talking maybe 15-20 hours. And I get a video that gets over 1 million views and maybe thousands of dollars. Okay? On the flip side of that, there were videos for that channel that I put out that were not negative videos, that were not, absolutely not bad negative things. For example, I remember one of the best games that year, I think, was Uncharted 4. I think it was Uncharted 4 was 2016. And I remember making a video saying, wow, it's like the best Uncharted game. Here's why. And with all this positive things edited in. Same style as the negative video, only it's focusing on the positive. That video, I think, never topped 50,000 views. Same amount of effort, because I did full playthrough of the game. Same amount of effort, same amount of time invested. You know, positive video probably made me, you know, less than $100. So you see the comparison here? Really, on YouTube, success is about hitting that algorithm. That's, as dumb as that sounds, that's exactly what it is. You need your videos to hit the algorithm of YouTube, so it'll show up in related search, so it'll show up as a recommended video, and then it gets legs and you start making views and money. It's not even the content of the video. It's not. It's not the content of the video that gets your video noticed on YouTube. It's checking off all the boxes. Do I have a click phrase or clickbait style name? Check. Do I have a clickbaity, catchy thumbnail? So people see the thumbnail. Oh, what's that? Check, right? Well, as soon as you start the video, is there something in the first few seconds that's funny or serious or slamming to the game to get people to keep watching? Check. This is what I mean. All you got to do is hit the algorithm, and now you're good. But that's bullshit. Like, I don't like that. I'm not that kind of content creator. I'm someone who, like, I want to be true to myself. I want to put out something that I think is valuable to my viewing audience. So if I want to put a video about, oh, Uncharted 4 review, it's one of the best games of the year, I want to be able to do that and not put in the same amount of effort as the video that's going to make me thousands of dollars but make 20. You see? And you can't do that on YouTube, at least from what I saw from that year of doing it. It's just not possible. You have to maintain a level of, like, negativity and toxicity and just stupid shit to stay viral and hit all the fucking check boxes to have your video be viewed. Another series of videos that I did that actually worked was when No Man's Sky released originally. You guys remember when No Man's Sky first released? I made 2 big videos on it. One was kind of like early impressions of the game when it first came out, how unfinished and broken it was. And then I did like a full-on review of it later on. They were not positive. They were very negative videos because I thought the game was insanely bad. At launch, I thought it was like, this is a joke. This guy had promised the world to everyone. This game doesn't even have basic functionality to make it feel like a game. It was just a terrible experience. And both videos accentuated that. They got, at one of them I know capped over 100,000 views and did really good view-wise. The other one I think not so much, but one of them did really well. And those made me, again, likely hundreds to thousands of dollars. Okay? Another video. The Mirror's Edge. Remember when the Mirror's Edge Catalyst came out and everyone was hyped for it and everyone started playing it? It was like, what the hell is this? I made a negative video about that. Basically saying that it was a broken, boring mess. Like, that's what the thumbnail said. It was like a broken, boring mess, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Went viral. Ended up getting over 100,000 views and did really well and made me money. You see? But that's what I mean. For every negative video that I made that made money for me and was good for the business, I couldn't make anything positive. Anytime I tried to do a video, oh, here's a really good game, no traction, nothing. People didn't go to YouTube looking for the positive. They wanted toxic shit constantly. And I'll be honest, it kind of disheartened me because I'm like, dude, I want to be someone that could do a variety of stuff. So what that's telling me is I have to do a consistent amount of negative, toxic, wow, this game sucks videos to make the channel work, and then mix in some positive stuff that hopefully people would watch. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't necessarily happy with that, but at least it was working until YouTube, ruined it all. So, but yeah, like it would, for me, like I said, putting in that amount of effort into a video and wow, this is a great video. I hope people will really enjoy it. Okay, one goes viral because it's negative, and one is just as important and positive, and no one wants to watch it. Right? It's like, dude, that is bullshit. Like, what is wrong with this fucking website? Martin is saying he feels that since then, the algorithm... I can't speak. Let's try this again. Martin feels that since then, the algorithm has changed, and that if I dipped my toes back into the water, perhaps things would change for the better. Like I said, Martin, as much as I don't want to be a defeatist, I kind of understand that in the modern day, especially because I did 5 years of full-time streaming and not focusing on edited content. There's people out there who make edited content every day, and it's all bullshit. It's all negative, slanderous stuff about me. That's where the viewership's going to go. Like, for example, right now, if every day I was making this edited content, none of that would show up in YouTube search. It would all be, what's the negative, toxic video about Phil for today? It's true. I make the vast majority of my income on streaming, on the income that comes in during a live stream. Very little of my income comes in from ad revenue from videos on demand on YouTube. Maybe that would be different if they would make memberships more appealing. Maybe that would be different if they would turn on super thanks for me so that someone watching an on-demand video could say, oh, I really like that video. Let me attach a monetary contribution to that video on demand. They won't even turn that on for me. I talked to them about it and they said, oh, it's just random who gets it. And there's no way to actually request it or get it. We'll give it to you whenever we feel like it. So I feel like maybe what you're suggesting would work if and when those other things happen too. Like if I'm going to make a really highly edited video and a lot of time and effort goes into it, obviously I want to say, well, if that's the case, since we know ad revenue is non-existent on YouTube now, people simply watching the video is no way to make a living. I'd have to find a way to say, hey, if you watch that video and you like it, please do this, and this is what's going to make it successful. I would say maybe like super thanks could be something like that, but it doesn't exist right now. They won't turn it on for people. Apparently, it's not like a very few people have it. Jax Fracture, your tip did go through. I also noticed that there was no pop-up. I think it was an error. Your tip did go through, and I'm going to read that out in a minute. Thank you for that. Okay. But yeah, like, maybe eventually you're right, Martin. I'll give it a shot. Right now, it's not viable anyway. There's no time for it. My PC, I couldn't do editing if I wanted to. Maybe later this year, like I said, when things slow down with these insane amount of new releases, and I do decide to maybe upgrade my setup, and people help with that, maybe then we can look at that and we can figure that stuff out, you know. Okay. Jax Raxer tipped $25 this morning. Thank you, Jax. Now, Jax, I'm curious, will you be here tonight for Street Fighter? Because usually you're not here for the daytime streams, and I'm just curious if you're going to be able to be here tonight for Street Fighter or not. Or if this is your, you know, basically your tip for when I play Street Fighter. So that way I don't have people bothering me all night and asking, where's Jax? You know? But anyway, thank you. $25 tip from Jax Raxer. Here's what he has to say. Phil, I know that there are issues considering repeat enemies and even bosses. However, it does take a lot of time and money to develop games, and reusing assets can help fill out content. If assets were not reused, the game would be much shorter. And I understand that. This game is insane. He's talking about Elden Ring, just so you guys know, because we've been having this discussion recently about how Elden Ring is reusing a lot of assets. It's like, dude, I just fought this boss, and here it is again. Like, no exaggeration, last stream, the beginning of the stream, I said, let's take on the bosses that have beaten me. So I ended up beating the Godskin Apostle, a dragon on a bridge that literally fought like every other dragon in the game, no different, yet it rewarded me with an insane amount of runes for no good reason. A bunch of little dragons surrounding a large dragon, and the little dragons fought exactly the same, if not even weaker than the other dragons. And then I fought the Black Blade Kindred, a giant gargoyle, which is actually unique. It was the first time I encountered that enemy in the game. Then we decided to continue on in the optional dungeon, and the boss of the optional dungeon Aqueduct is 2 of the gargoyles, including the one I just beat. I was like, wait a minute. So, what luck that I fought the other gargoyle that's tougher, because I learned his attack patterns, and that allowed me to know what to do in the 2-on-1 boss fight. I didn't have to learn 2 attack patterns at once. I already knew the one, so I was able to beat that gargoyle first, and then I had to only take on the other one, and then I beat it head up. You see? So that being said, it actually kind of worked out. But at the same time, within one stream, I fought the same boss twice. It's like, what the hell? So I totally understand what you're saying, Jax, and I agree with you. Some reuse has to happen. For example, a lot of people criticized Neo for reusing enemies and bosses. Like, Neo really does it bad. I mean, if you take a look at both games, you'll have a boss, the next thing you know, that boss is now a normal enemy you have to fight 1,000,000 times in a stage. So I can understand that. I can understand where you're coming from. At the same time, there's way too many of these dragons. Seriously, the first dragon is so awesome. You fight it in the lake, you're like, wow, look at this. This is like throwbacks to Dark Eater Midir from the DLC for Dark Souls 3. And then it's like, there's a dragon to your left, there's a dragon to your right, there's a dragon above you, there's a dragon below you, there's a dragon coming out your ass. There's too many dragons. Like, Jesus. You know, it takes away the uniqueness and the appeal of it. It really does. It makes it feel like it's not special anymore when you fight a dragon, when you fought 12, 14, 16 of these fucking things, and they're all the same. The other thing is okay, they're a little different because one spews rot, one spews fire, one spews ice, one spews magic, right? But they're still the same dragon. They just have one different attack each. It's not a giant deal. But I understand what you're saying. They tried something completely and utterly different with Elden Ring. They wanted to make this giant open explorative world, and they needed to reuse assets to do it, and I get that. I'm not going to fault them and say, how dare you reuse, but I guess we'll see what happens as I get further in the game. I've actually been told, actually it was from Das Bullshit, who's all here today, that it gets worse and worse. In fact, he says, I feel they made the world, if they made the world smaller than this, the recycling would be more forgivable. It's less content, but what we see would stick with us more. And, you know, quality over quantity, right? Maybe. Maybe there shouldn't have been 140 hours of content. Maybe it should have been 80 hours of content, but all of those 80 hours are unique, right? I don't know. I really can't make this judgment because I haven't beaten the game yet. You know what I mean? By the way, Jax, okay, he says, if I come to the Street Fighter stream tonight, he will be late. I'll give it a tip now in case he can't make it. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to know. So now tonight, when people are like, where's Jax? Where's Jax? Say, he was here earlier. He already contributed. He may be here tonight, but no guarantees. That way, people will lay off because you know how people are, Jax. You remember? You're here every week. You see how that, where's Jax? What's going on with Jax? Can't mind their own business. Zaid K has tipped me $50. Thank you very much to Zaid for an insanely generous tip. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. And with that, we are jumping all the way up to $76 in tips before we've even started. Thank you, guys. That means Gunner glasses are in effect. I'm not going to put them on because we're about to end the pre-stream. And I'm about to actually run and use the restroom quick. I'm not going to wear Gunner glasses on the John. But when I come back, I'll be wearing them, okay? Eternal says he beat Elden Ring at 122 hours. Wow. Honestly, I think my playthrough's going to be longer. I am currently at 68 hours. Well, okay, that's not correct. Here's why. Some of the videos were an hour long, but some went longer, and a couple were short. So, on average, it's probably around 68 hours. It could be give or take longer or shorter, but it's around there in general. People are telling me I'm halfway through. So, my playthrough's going to exceed 130 hours. Holy shit. Alright, guys. Thank you. Good pre-stream today. Good discussion. Let's end it. I got to jump on the John here. Nature calls. And when I come back, we'll jump right into where we start, or where we left off. Is it dark root? The deep dark root? The dark root deep? The dark root depths? The deep dark root depth dungeon. You can't see shit. But anyway, I'm excited. We actually ended on a high note last time, and I'm excited to start off from there and continue. So thank you guys. Great pre-stream podcast. Thanks for watching. Let's do it.